Okay. So, because it is videoed, if you would prefer to not share your process, that was totally understandable. I just want to be really clear that it will be on YouTube. So, you give yourself a chance to decide if you feel comfortable sharing it or not. Okay. All right. So get comfortable. We're going to do an induction and then expand our frequencies into a higher vibration. And before we do that, we'll set up the vortex and the soul star as a way to connect with our higher selves and a way to protect ourselves as we do this expanding work tonight. And this is the soul mantra to activate. We are the soul. We are the light divine. We are love. We are will. We are fixed design. And in the wisdom of our souls, we invoke a soul star above our head that represents our higher self. And this soul star energy emanates light through our whole physical and energetic body. And in the wisdom of our soul, we place a vortex around us, starting 30 feet above us and moving 30 feet beneath us into the earth. And this vortex serves to protect us, to ground us in our highest being, and to bring forth focus so that we can do this process tonight. We turn ourselves over to our higher selves and ask only for the highest good to come from this exploration tonight. So with that in place, if you haven't got your eyes closed already, you can get ready to close your eyes when you feel comfortable doing so. Make sure your back is feeling supported, that your body's in an open posture. And when you're ready, take a slow, deep in-breath. And gently let it go through your exhalation. And when you're ready, allow your eyes to close or soften your gaze as your attention begins to turn inwards. As you settle in, you may notice how the breath knows exactly how to move through you. A quiet rhythm that belongs only to you. With every exhale, there's an invitation to let go of the day as if you are untying a knot that you no longer need to hold. Allowing a soft stillness to expand layer by layer with each breath. Your body relaxes. Your mind becomes quieter, and your awareness begins to expand. I wonder if you can imagine a path leading inward, not a path made of stones, but a path made of quiet awareness. And with each step you take, the outside world becomes a distant whisper, while the colors of your inner world begin to brighten, revealing insights that have been waiting patiently for your arrival. And as you drift a little deeper, you might find it interesting that you don't even need to try to relax, because relaxation is simply a return to who you are when the world isn't asking anything of you. It's a homecoming, a gentle remembering of the peace that has always lived within you. Perhaps you can feel the weight of your body becoming a comfort, a grounded presence that allows your mind to feel light. almost weightless. It's a beautiful thing to realize that your body already knows how to rest, and your mind is now free to wander into those spaces where your truest self resides. And just as a flower doesn't have to try to bloom, you might find that you don't have to try to go deeper. You simply allow the light of your own consciousness to warm the edges of your thoughts. And you settle into this space and you feel a natural softening, a gentle unfolding of the layers you've carried until you reach that quiet, vibrant center where your inner wisdom has been waiting to be seen. Imagine now that every cell in your body is filled with tiny points of light emanating from your soul star. And each point of light is alive with intelligence, possibility, and harmony. And as you breathe, these points of light begin to shimmer as though your whole being is connected to a vast field of energy. This field is calm. This field is wise. And this field contains infinite possibilities. You don't need to force anything. You simply allow yourself to become aware of the space between your thoughts, the silence beneath your mind, and the stillness beyond ordinary awareness. And in this stillness, you may sense that you are more than your body. You are more than your thoughts. You are more than your emotions. And you are so much more than your past. You are awareness itself. Now imagine a doorway of soft blue light appearing before you. This doorway represents access to your highest frequency and highest consciousness, your deepest knowing and intuition, and the part of you that already knows how to heal, how to grow, and how to transform. And when you're ready, step gently through that doorway. And on the other side, you enter a luminous field of possibility. Here, time softens, old limits dissolve, new potentials are available. And as you stand within this field of infinite possibility, notice that there are two pathways that begin to appear before you. Each pathway represents a different choice, a different direction, a different expression of your future. Neither path is right or wrong. Neither path is better or worse. Each simply contains a unique sense of possibilities, experiences, lessons, opportunities, and outcomes. And in the distance from each of these paths, there are two doorways of light. One doorway represents one option, and the other is the other option. Allow yourself to approach the doorway that represents option 1. Before entering, set your intention. What option do you wish to explore as your future self? And you choose to observe this lifetime and this timeline with clarity, wisdom, and objectivity, receiving only information that serves your highest good. Holding your intention, step through the doorway. And imagine you are moving forward in time. On this timeline, you may observe yourself 7 months from now, perhaps a year from now, perhaps farther down the timeline. Notice where you are. You are embodying this future potential self. Step into your body. What do you experience physically? What do you experience mentally? What do you experience emotionally? And what do you experience spiritually? How old are you? Observe your daily life. Notice the people around you. Be aware of the opportunities that have emerged in your life. Notice the challenges that have arisen and how you face these challenges. Without judgment, continue to witness, explore your life on this timeline. Work with your higher self if you have specific inquiries you'd like to explore. Without judgment, simply witness. ask yourself, what is this path teaching me? And receive whatever comes. What gifts does this timeline offer you? What sacrifices or responsibilities accompany this choice? What other aspects of this timeline would you continue to explore for a few moments? Now gather the wisdom from this timeline like a sphere of light and bring it into your awareness. You can tap into this sphere of light at any time and continue to explore this choice, this timeline, as a possible future self. Step back through the doorway and return to the field of possibilities. And take a moment to release any attachments to what you've seen, knowing it'll be held in the sphere of light. And when you're ready, turn towards the doorway representing option number 2. And again, set your intention. You choose to observe this timeline with clarity, wisdom, objectivity, receiving only information that serves your highest good. And when you're ready, step through this doorway and move forward on this timeline. Go forward months, a year, or more. And on this timeline, observe living this reality. Be in your body, in the experience. Notice your environment. Notice your body and state of health. Notice your emotional state. Your mental state. And your spiritual awareness. Reflect on your relationships. What opportunities accompany this choice? What challenges have arisen? Simply observe and allow your experience to unfold. What is this path teaching you? What gifts does this timeline offer you? What sacrifices or responsibilities accompany this choice? Now gather the wisdom from this timeline as another sphere of light and bring it back with you as well as you begin to return to the field of possibilities. Standing now between both timelines, imagine the two spheres of wisdom floating before you. One contains the learning and opportunities from option 1, and the other contains the learning and opportunities from option 2. Observe them with curiosity. Be aware of which one feels lighter. Which one feels more expansive to you? Which one feels more aligned with your values, your purpose, your joy, and your authentic self? You don't have to decide immediately. Just simply ask the questions and notice what comes. And you can ask your higher self, at this point in your awareness, which path most fully supports the person you are becoming? Then allow your unconscious mind, your intuition, and your higher self-awareness to communicate in whatever way is natural for you. Trust that the answer may come now. It may come later in another time, in a dream, through a feeling, or through insights that emerge in the days ahead. Your deeper mind and your heart continue to process this information for your highest good, revealing clarity at the perfect time for you. You are connected to wisdom. You are open to possibility. You allow transformation in perfect balance and timing. And you return now with clarity, peace, and purpose. Begin to gently sense your body again. Feel the surface beneath you supporting your body. Become aware of the room around you. Be conscious of the rhythm of your breathing. And bringing back only what is useful, only what is positive, only what supports your well-being. In a moment, I'll count you back from 5 to 1. And at 1, you can fully return into the room, alert, grounded, and refreshed, remembering all that will serve you consciously. 5, feeling your body. 4, bringing back a calm awareness. 3, starting to feel movement in your body as you awaken your physicality. 2, taking in a deep, clearing, opening breath. And 1, your eyes open, fully present, clear, grounded, and well. Opening your eyes when you're ready. So give everybody a little time to jot down your impressions. would like to have more time? Anybody? Okay. So I'd like to give you an option tonight to either share as a group, if anybody would care to share to everybody, or to put you in breakout rooms so you'd have a little more depth time to share more deeply with one person. And I know Jill's got an issue with her microphone, so it's going to be a little awkward for you if we do it one-on-one. But I'm going to ask you to raise your hand to vote. And we'll see which way we go tonight, okay? So the first option is to stay in the group, to do group sharing. How many of you prefer that? 1, 2, 3. It looks like that's going to be it. That's it. Okay, right. And you always have a right to pass. You never have to share in my groups to make it safe for everybody to come forward when you're ready. So let's take some time for people to bring their experiences to all of our awareness and to share your insights. Maybe there are further questions that have come up through doing this you'd like to explore at another time. What kind of movement happened for you around your choices tonight? What did your higher self bring forward that was helpful? Would like to start?
I guess I'll start.
Okay, you're going to have to speak up, Kate, because you still
Okay,
sound very loud.
I'll lean into the microphone. How's that? Is that better?
That's a little better.
A little better.
A little
Uh-oh.
better.
Uh-oh. Gotta play with some knobs over here. So, thank you so much for that experience. And it was really transformative for me. The debate on whether to continue doing something or to turn away from that and move more. I don't know how to explain this. Well, I'll just say it. Whether or not to continue doing YouTube videos as the Dream Detective, or whether or not to allow someone else to host me on videos at my leisure, and the option B is the one that would say, okay, if someone else is hosting, that allows freedom. That allows time for me to work on me. That allows time for me to help my husband and support my husband. That allows time for me to play and to travel and to restore what has changed over the last several years. And when we came back to the crossroads, right, with the two orbs, the option one to continue as the Dream Detective with some sort of scheduling and scripts and guests and interviews and whatnot else was sort of crumbling. The orb itself looked like it was about to implode. It was just really fascinating to be able to see that. Parts of it were missing. I mean, it was like somebody had taken a hammer to it and went whack, and suddenly there was no longer a full, complete orb. And the other orb, the one that allowed more freedom, was radiating beams of light. And I found this really humorous because my guides popped in and grabbed the orb. And they were giggling and dancing and laughing at me that they had taken my orb. they were like, ha ha, look what we've got, and trust us. And so at one point they held it over my head, and where those lights were shining from the beginning of the meditation, they broke it, and it shimmered into those areas inside me that were holding on to light. And they said, let's go have fun. So glad you chose. And it was beautiful. It was just absolutely amazing. I didn't expect them to come in and, grab the orb. But now I know the orb's in me, right? The integration of my dreams and my goals and my heart and trusting that this is an important time that's a little bit different than what was. And so I'm just really, really grateful because I have this incredible sense of peace around that answer. So thank
Mm.
you, thank you, thank you.
Give it to yourself, the help of your guides.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Thanks for starting us off, Kate. Appreciate you. Somebody else. Everyone has a unique experience with this. Anybody? Diana, thank you.
Me? Is that better?
Well, right now it sounds pretty good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, my giant fits. Um, I've been having this debate with myself about whether to come out to more people as my true self, and and also about what I can do to make more money. And I've spent most of my life, my historic life, in front of people, coaching people, things like that. And there's a part of me that it's familiar for me to do. Part of me that says do something that's more inward focusing and like this writing. And so those were the two choices that I looked at. And the first choice was about, you know, being out in the world as a woman, uh, fully, about 5 years from now, and speak using that, excuse me, being open with my life in that way. And the challenges about that, given what's going on in the world today, and what that might entail. And that felt very heavy. It felt very expansive, but it felt very heavy. And when I looked at the other, it felt lighter. It felt like an opportunity for me to communicate with people, to do it in a peaceful way, a way, an integrated way for myself. And like I said, that felt a lot lighter and a lot smaller. And I can see that starting literally next week. I feel really embarrassed being here because I got all this facial hair because I'm in Alabama visiting my mother and she wants her son and all that stuff. But when I fly back, it's like I'm going to strip all that away and integrate who we present who I really want to be. So, and it was funny because as I was looking, I saw a field as I was staying, looking at the two paths, and there were tulips um,
Hmm.
in the vista, and the tulips there was a breeze going back and forth, and when they the breeze went from right to left. That was the first option. Tulips were gold on the outside and red on the inside of the petals. When the breeze went from left to right, the tulips changed color. They were lavender, purple on the outside, and burgundy on the inside. To me, I don't know if those colors represent anything. I'd be curious to hear if you have any thoughts about that, Holly. But that's what came up for me. And I'm actually in a place right now. I feel very delicate talking. So,
Well, the colors are something that you need to come to awareness about, whatever they feel like to you. Because where colors are concerned, we can all have a different experience with it. They don't represent one thing to everybody. You can look up archetypally what they might mean. Like, for instance, they might be connected to chakras or they might be connected to seasons, but you need to decide what resonates for you, like you would a dream symbol.
well, I can say that, my experience during the visioning was that the gold uh, outside, red on the inside was like fire,
Hmm.
and the lavender with the burgundy on the inside was like water.
See, you already kind of know. You're already kind of tuning in. We'll play with it a little bit. Thank you. Somebody else?
Good share. So I walked through um, the doorway of if I were to go to acupuncture school. It's something that I've been thinking about for years, but I haven't like brought myself to it. And the other doorway was not going to acupuncture school and just continuing to focus on massage and like other modalities that go with it. And um, yeah, I first walked through the acupuncture door and I was like immediately brought to this big library. And there's a lot of purple there. And like right in response to, I think you asked the question of the purpose of this timeline, and I heard to orient yourself. And then I saw myself kind of as this like alchemist, like pulling together energies. But at the same time, I could feel like my body a bit more constricted and like more, I guess, just like the heaviness of like the difficulty of the study and like the work that would come with it. And then I saw myself as like an older massage therapist in that timeline too. And I've always thought about like combining them. So that was like an interesting little insight. And then the second doorway, um, it felt a lot lighter and more free spirited. And I saw myself like being more social and just being able to offer massage like more, I guess, like as I travel, because that's kind of what that would go along with. And yeah, I feel a little bit like I think the one was almost felt like a more like near future, like one that I'm kind of already living, and like it would just be a continuation of my life as like a massage therapist. And acupuncture, I still feel it still feels far away because it kind of made me feel like I'm not ready for that. Like I see how it could bring me groundedness in the future, but I still feel that it's like a future decision. So yeah, that was
You can revisit this down the road, at any
mm,
time as you evolve. Your choices will be different choices along the way as well. Interesting, though, isn't it? Were you
yeah.
surprised about what came through, or what did it? Yeah.
I was surprised. I was surprised at how like energetic I could feel it, and almost felt like the energy was showing me at some points.
Yes, some of us feel it energetically. Some of us get visions more through sight. Some of us get conversations that communicate. It comes through all different modalities. But being a massage therapist, I'm pretty sure you would tend to get it through the body.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of your ways.
Yeah, that's
Neat.
true.
Thank you,
Thank
Amber.
you.
Yeah. Who's next? Anybody else want to share, or are we done? Sharon.
Well, Susie, I have a question because I keep getting so relaxed. Last night that I fell asleep, and I don't know, does it mean I need more sleep, or I guess I don't know how to not be so relaxed. I'm glad it's recorded because truly I don't remember hearing the word orb. I was so I was just conked out. Like the cat's here cuddling with me and stuff, but I don't remember even hearing that word. So I'll have to do the recording, but I don't know how to not get so relaxed when I'm doing this. Like I did that with hypnotherapy with Claudia on Monday. I just kept falling asleep. And
Well, you're really not asleep because you came out when I counted you out. What you are in is called a somnambulistic hypnosis state, where your conscious awareness is gone. It's like a dreamless, dark space.
mhm,
And that is when you are highly suggestible. That's when the ego has stepped out of the room. And in
mhm.
some situations, that's really a remarkable, wonderful state. But when you're doing this in a group, you get kind of frustrated, right? Because you want to remember.
Yeah, I don't have and I also think that my question was probably too premature. I was my decision. Like often, I have big decisions. Right now, The biggest one is, do we get a new puppy through the guy who we got our last puppy from? But two different animal communicators said that Teddy said, no, don't go to him because he's gruff and rough. Not that he hit them, but he was gruff. And Teddy came just with a lot of fears. But my husband really wants to go to him because Teddy is such an angel. He was such an angel dog. And we want the same type of personality, but even brother and sister isn't always, the same personality. So I feel torn. I did call the guy today just to get information. He didn't answer. His voicemail is full. I sent him a picture of Teddy. Usually he would,
Well, help your husband not expect the same personality because I've had 5 Tibetan Terriers. Every single one of them is a unique individual, just like people.
yeah,
He's going to get something wonderful or better than Teddy, but
yeah.
he can't expect it. I had a client once who had a cat who died that he wanted to replace the cat, and he literally kept the cat in the freezer
Oh
so
my
that
God.
he could check to see if the kitten he wanted looked like his cat. And I
Oh,
thought this guy needed some therapy.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know, I mean, I just lost 2 dogs last year, so I know what he's going through. But help him with this. Help him realize that Teddy was Teddy and nobody's going to be Teddy again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
So
got a Tibetan Terrier right now that is out of the box puppy. She's totally different. Yeah.
yeah. Well, so I think it's premature, like I said, because I don't even know if the guy still, I just made a call today. I told my husband I will call, even though I don't want to go with him. I'll just see if he has
Yeah.
a puppy or maybe he knows someone like, but he didn't
Right.
answer and he didn't read the picture. Usually, like
Yeah.
when he would ask me some
Well,
pictures,
that's kind of a sign.
maybe he doesn't do it anymore. So that's why I thought it was premature because I can't even know if he
Right.
has, if he's
Right.
in the business. It was, 3 years ago that we
Well,
got.
in terms of your going to sleep, you
Oh
can
yeah.
listen to the CD or the video again if you want to. But in a group situation, there's much more likelihood that people will go into that state because I'm not in one-on-one rapport with you, and your inner hypnotist takes over and just takes you where you go. So when I do full day workshops of past life regression and people start having that experience, I make them stand up in the corner
Oh,
so they
okay.
can't go to sleep.
Yeah, I'm
Go to
wondering how to
sleep.
not fall asleep again when I listen to this.
Yeah.
Is it like I need to get more rest, or how do I make
Well,
sure I stay awake to listen about the
well,
orbs?
first of all, don't let yourself succumb to the chair. Have your back straight so that you're having to control your physical body a little bit. And
Okay.
secondly, if you really are having problems keeping awake, stand up because you won't go to sleep if you're standing up.
Okay.
You'll
Well,
catch yourself.
I'm going to promise to do this again, and I will promise to stay awake somehow, one way or another.
Okay,
Great. It
okay.
sounds wonderful. I look forward to it.
Yeah. And maybe you can do this with your husband. Have
Oh
him
yeah.
do it. Maybe he can have some insights about his choices right now, too.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kelly.
You're welcome, Susie. Who else would like to share? Okay. So, do you have any questions about the process? Like Susie had something come up that was worth sharing about going to sleep. Anybody have any experiences in hypnotic state that you'd like support with? Because it's helpful if you share your anomalous experiences because you're probably not alone. Aromi?
Hi, Holly.
Hi.
That was beautiful. I actually needed it today. Um, so um, for me, it was, I'm just getting started with my breathwork practice and hypnotherapy. Um, and I've been told that I need to put myself out there a little bit more, like, go on internet and push my put videos. So um, it's my question was, how do I feel confident about putting myself out there? And instead of, I can very well hold space, but it just like putting it out like in a group, it's been difficult. And so when I went and I saw the two parts, the first one was very light and airy and very fully lit up, beautiful daylight. And then the second one was a little dark and little, you know, and I was like, okay, what does that mean? Should I take the easy, clear path or should I take the unclear, dark path? Is this my subconscious telling me just go to, don't take the easy, clear path or not? I'm like, and then I was debating which one is my number one option and which one's two. And then I took the first one, the clear path, and then it was deeply connected, higher self, like deeply guided. Everything was wonderful. And I just like felt it's an inner knowing, it's an inner faith going with that. And then we came out, then the second one, I had to almost like clear it out. And I felt like um if I didn't do anything, that's where I would be. It was very heavy and I was getting distracted. And I mean, the path was very clear. It was the easy path. And then the question became like, why did that even show up? And for me, but the answer was like really tap into this inner connection, this inner guidance that comes through. Uh, but like I didn't realize, like I didn't at that moment, like why did that second path show up? Because I didn't have two separate options, clear options. So I had to like literally like energetically like squeegee clean it and it's like
Yeah.
get out of the way. So
So do you feel any resolve around it?
I do feel resolved, but is that like a um what would you
Well, if it were my experience, and
hmm
I have to own it as mine because it's my framework projecting, the lighter path is the path of joy for
yeah.
you. And I think one of the things we're all here to learn is to be in joy about being in life, bringing that heaven on earth experience more into our awareness. And for sure, Spirit wants us to be in love and in joy. Doesn't want us to have to keep clearing dirt every minute, you know? So
hmm
that's how I would interpret it. But
yeah.
it's, you've got more work you can do. I mean, you took a very important step tonight, and you can keep asking the questions and doing your work and getting more and more clarity, and the path becomes brighter and clearer as you do that.
Yeah.
So be gentle, No, this is not a switch you turn on and off. This is a process.
hmm
But when you
Thank you.
were describing your lighter path, you're emanating that light when you talk about it.
Yeah, it felt light.
Yeah. They don't call it enlightenment for nothing.
Yes. True, true.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, I guess everyone shared who cares to share. Is that correct? Jill can't share because her mic's not working, but she's given us the okay sign. And once more, I'll ask, do any of you have any questions about the state of hypnosis that you experienced? Anybody else have any questions? Because one of the wonderful things about doing group hypnosis is when you share your hypnotic experience, not the content so much, but the hypnotic experience, you learn how to navigate that territory more easily because it's a skill. All of you are on a journey of learning how to navigate that inner spaciousness that we can access. And many anomalous experiences come up for people. And not everybody experiences it the same way ever. So it's an interesting way to kind of share if anybody has questions or anomalous experiences. Okay. Well then, oh
Okay.
yes, Amber.
I'll share just at the beginning I could like hear the sounds of my family from coming through the door and I tried connecting my headphones and they wouldn't work. But I was like surprised at how easily I was able to stay focused, and eventually it drifted, and I realized that I was focusing on like the steps that I was taking in the hypnotic state that you were leading. Like I was feeling myself take the steps like in the center. I don't know how to describe it, but that really helped me like come into myself in the experience, and I just completely stopped hearing everything that was happening. So that was really cool.
You just described some hypnotic phenomena that we talk about in our training. One of them is that you have selective awareness. Even though there was something going on around you, you used your freedom and your inner will to choose a focus, and then you got engaged completely in it and forgot about everything else. That's one part of it. The other part of it is that you can have dual relationships with your inner and outer world when you're in hypnosis. You can still be aware of what's going on, maybe not be engaged in it, but still have an awareness the phone's ringing or the sirens going by, but it doesn't take you out of your experience.
Mm.
It could take you out, but you focused in a way that allowed you to deepen it through your intention and your willingness to choose. And people don't realize that in hypnosis, you've got free will. You know, you choose to go deeper, you choose to stay focused. And after you choose it, it's just a natural, easy thing because it's happening. So that's
That's so,
great. Thanks for sharing that.
yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome. Anything else? Okay, are we ready to close? I'll end with a little prayer, which I love doing, to set us off on some good vibes. Yeah, not that we don't already have good vibes. We got good vibes tonight. Okay, this are any of you familiar with Cameron Trimble's Substack and her emails? If any of you saw the inauguration, she was the minister that spoke at the inauguration. Um, she got in a lot of trouble because she was scolding Trump when she got up there, but he needed to be kind to people. Did anybody of you see that? Well, this is who I follow every day. And I get a beautiful email from her. She tells stories from all different spiritual traditions. She's very connected to what's going on politically on a spiritual level. And every time she writes a piece, she always ends with a prayer. So a lot of the prayers that I share with you come from her writing. I want to honor her tonight by thanking her for sharing it. I reached out to her and asked her if I could have permission to publish some of her prayers in my emails, and she never got back to me, so I assumed it was going to be okay. So I'm asking her higher self to let us
Can
enjoy
you,
her prayers.
Holly, can you spell her name? I'm just having trouble
It's
hearing.
Cameron, Cameron, Trimble, Trimble. And you
Oh,
can sign up to get her newsletters. She's really an amazing being. She's very awake and
thank you.
really doing beautiful work. Okay, this is called A Prayer for the Path Ahead. Thought it was appropriate for tonight. Teach us how to walk gently. Make us healers of a wounded world, bridgers of divides too long ignored, companions to those we've forgotten, singers of joy that can't be silenced. Strip away what is false, strengthen what is true, and shape us into people who live not for praise, but for peace. Amen. Be well. Hope to see you guys next month.
Thank you so much, Holly.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Holly.
Enjoy your paths as they unfold.
So
Thank you.
I can't believe it, but on today's calendar day is a line from Rumi, and it says, "When you stop on the way, the path reveals itself." Whoa, a
Isn't that
little
great?
validation there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much,
Lots
Holly.
of love, you guys. Be
Thanks.
Okay,
well.
you
Okay.
too, honey. Take care.
Uh-huh.
Bye.